Welcome. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of production, costs, and firm behavior. Every business, big or small, faces decisions about how to produce goods and services efficiently. Understanding these concepts is crucial for anyone interested in economics or running a business. We'll start by exploring what production means in an economic context and why it's the foundation of every firm's operation. As we move forward, we'll see how costs influence the choices firms make and how these decisions shape the market. Let's begin our journey by defining production and its role in business success. Production is the process of transforming inputs like labor, capital, and raw materials into finished goods or services. Firms must decide what to produce, how to produce it, and for whom. These choices are influenced by available resources, technology, and consumer demand. The efficiency of production processes can make or break a business. As we continue, we'll see how firms strive to maximize output while minimizing costs, and why these decisions are at the heart of economic activity. Inputs are the resources used in the production process. These include land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. Each input plays a unique role. Land provides space and raw materials, labor brings human effort, capital offers machinery and tools, and entrepreneurship combines these elements to create value. The way firms combine these inputs determines their productivity and competitiveness. Next, we'll look at how firms decide on the best mix of inputs to achieve their goal. Production function is a mathematical relationship that shows how inputs are transformed into outputs. It helps firms understand how changing the quantity of one input, while holding others constant, affects total output. For example, adding more workers to a factory may increase production, but only up to a point. This concept is key to understanding how firms optimize their operations and allocate resources efficiently. Economics, the short run is a period during which at least one input is fixed, while the long run is when all inputs can be varied. For example, a bakery may not be able to expand its kitchen overnight, but over time it can invest in new equipment or hire more staff. Understanding the difference between short run and long run helps firms plan for both immediate needs and future growth. Law of diminishing returns states that as more of one input is added, holding others constant, the additional output from each new unit will eventually decrease. For instance, adding more workers to a small kitchen will increase output at first, but eventually the space becomes crowded and productivity drops. This principle guides firms in deciding how much of each input to use. Firms face different types of costs in production. Fixed costs do not change with output like rent or salaries. Variable costs change with the level of production, such as raw materials or hourly wages. Understanding the distinction between fixed and variable costs is essential for firms to manage their finances and make informed decisions. Total cost is the sum of all fixed and variable costs. Average cost is the total cost divided by the number of units produced, while marginal cost is the additional cost of producing one more unit. These measures help firms analyze their cost structure and set prices that cover expenses and generate profit. Cost curves graphically represent the relationship between output and various cost measures. The average cost curve typically has a U-shape, reflecting economies and diseconomies of scale. Marginal cost curves show how the cost of producing one more unit changes as output increases. These curves are vital tools for firms in making production and pricing decisions. Economies of scale occur when increasing production lowers the average cost per unit. This happens because fixed costs are spread over more units and firms can take advantage of bulk purchasing or specialized labor. Large firms often benefit from economies of scale, giving them a competitive edge in the market. Diseconomies of scale happen when a firm grows too large and average costs start to rise. This can result from management inefficiencies, communication problems, or overcrowded facilities. Recognizing the limits of growth helps firms avoid these pitfalls and maintain profitability. Explicit costs are direct, out-of-pocket expenses like wages and materials. Implicit costs represent the opportunity cost of using resources owned by the firm, such as the owner's time or capital. Both types of costs are important for understanding a firm's true profitability. Counting profit is total revenue minus explicit costs, while economic profit subtracts both explicit and implicit costs. Economic profit gives a more complete picture of a firm's performance, helping owners decide whether to continue or change their business strategy. Sunk costs are expenses that have already been incurred and cannot be recovered. Rational firms ignore sunk costs when making future decisions, focusing instead on marginal costs and benefits. This approach helps avoid the trap of throwing good money after bad. Opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative foregone when a choice is made. For firms, considering opportunity costs ensures resources are used where they add the most value. This concept is central to smart business decisions and efficient resource allocation. Firms aim to maximize profit by producing the quantity of output where marginal cost equals marginal revenue. This rule guides firms in setting production levels that balance costs and revenues, ensuring long-term sustainability and growth. Revenue is the income a firm earns from selling goods or services. Total revenue is price times quantity sold. Average revenue is total revenue divided by quantity, and marginal revenue is the additional revenue from selling one more unit. These concepts help firms analyze their sales performance and pricing strategies. Market structure refers to the competitive environment in which firms operate. Common types include perfect competition, monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopoly. Each structure affects how firms set prices, output, and strategies. Understanding market structure is key to predicting firm behavior. In perfect competition, many firms sell identical products and no single firm can influence the market price. Firms are price takers, meaning they accept the market price as given. This structure leads to efficient resource allocation and minimal profits in the long run. A monopoly exists when a single firm controls the entire market for a product or service. Monopolies can set prices and output levels, often leading to higher prices for consumers. However, monopolies may also invest in innovation due to their market power. Monopolistic competition features many firms selling similar but not identical products. Each firm has some control over price due to product differentiation. This structure encourages innovation and variety but also leads to higher costs from advertising and branding. An oligopoly is a market dominated by a few large firms. These firms may compete or cooperate, influencing prices and output. Oligopolies often lead to strategic behavior such as price wars or collusion, making the market less predictable. In competitive markets, firms must constantly adapt to changes in demand, costs, and technology. They focus on efficiency, innovation, and customer satisfaction to stay ahead. The pressure of competition drives firms to improve and offer better value. Monopolies have more control over prices and output, but they may face less pressure to innovate or reduce costs. Regulators often monitor monopolies to prevent abuse of market power and protect consumer interests. Oligopolistic firms closely watch their rivals and may react quickly to changes in prices or strategies. This interdependence can lead to cooperation such as forming cartels or intense competition like price wars. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for predicting market outcomes. Barriers to entry are obstacles that make it difficult for new firms to enter a market. These can include high startup costs, patents, or strong brand loyalty. Barriers protect existing firms and influence market structure and competition. Advances in technology can dramatically improve production efficiency and lower costs. Firms that adopt new technologies often gain a competitive advantage, allowing them to produce more with fewer resources and respond quickly to market changes. Innovation isn't just about technology, it includes new products, processes, and business models. Firms that innovate can differentiate themselves, attract customers, and increase profits. Continuous improvement is key to long-term success. Many firms outsource certain activities to specialized companies to reduce costs and focus on core strengths. Outsourcing can improve efficiency, but firms must carefully manage quality and relationships with suppliers. Scale refers to the size of a firm's operations, while scope is about the range of products or services offered. Firms must decide whether to expand scale, diversify scope, or specialize. These choices impact costs, risks, and market position. Vertical integration occurs when a firm expands its operations into different stages of production, such as a manufacturer acquiring suppliers or distributors. This can reduce costs, improve control, and increase market power, but also adds complexity. Horizontal integration involves merging with or acquiring competitors at the same stage of production. This can increase market share, reduce competition, and create economies of scale, but may attract regulatory scrutiny. Franchising allows firms to expand quickly by granting others the right to use their brand and business model. Franchisees pay fees and follow guidelines, while the parent company benefits from rapid growth and brand recognition. A joint venture is a partnership between two or more firms to pursue a specific project or goal. Joint ventures combine resources and expertise, sharing risks and rewards. They are common in industries with high costs or complex technologies. Cost-benefit analysis helps firms evaluate decisions by comparing the expected costs and benefits. This systematic approach ensures resources are allocated to projects with the highest net value, supporting better business outcomes. Break-even analysis determines the level of output at which total revenue equals total cost. This tool helps firms understand how much they need to sell to cover expenses and start making a profit, guiding pricing and production decisions. A firm may consider shutting down temporarily if it cannot cover its variable costs in the short run. This decision is based on comparing revenue with variable costs and helps firms minimize losses during tough times. If a firm cannot cover its total costs in the long run, it may decide to exit the market. Exiting frees up resources for more productive uses and is a natural part of market dynamics, ensuring only efficient firms survive. Governments regulate firms to promote competition, protect consumers, and prevent market failures. Regulations can affect costs, pricing, and firm behavior, shaping the overall business environment. Taxes increase production costs while subsidies lower them. Governments use these tools to influence firm behavior, encourage or discourage certain activities, and achieve policy goals like environmental protection or job creation. Externalities are costs or benefits of production that affect third parties like pollution or education. Firms and governments must address externalities to ensure resources are used efficiently and social welfare is maximized. Many firms embrace corporate social responsibility (CSR), going beyond profit to consider social and environmental impacts. CSR can enhance reputation, attract customers, and create long-term value for both the firm and society. Globalization opens new markets and increases competition. Firms must adapt by improving efficiency, innovating, and understanding international regulations. Success in the global market requires flexibility and strategic thinking. Sustainable production balances economic, social, and environmental goals. Firms adopting sustainable practices reduce waste, conserve resources, and build a positive brand image. Sustainability is increasingly important for long-term success. We've covered the essentials of production, costs, and firm behavior. From understanding inputs and cost structures to exploring market dynamics and strategic decisions, these concepts form the backbone of business economics. Firms must constantly adapt, innovate, and make informed choices to thrive. By mastering these principles, you'll be better equipped to analyze business decisions and understand the forces shaping our economy.